Hi guys, AlternativeBriggs.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So I thought it'd be a bit of fun today to talk about my top 5 anime/manga guilty pleasures. Now what I mean by this is not really that I feel guilt or shame when reading or watching these series, it's just these are series that are typically considered to be not very good, and I like them anyway. I think they're a lot of fun. So while they're not necessarily the best series in the world, and all of them on this list do get quite a bit of criticism, I get some kind of enjoyment out of them. And I figured I'd talk to you guys about them, see if any of you feel the same way. Maybe this will be an entertaining video, who knows? Maybe this video will suck, we'll see. So, number 5 on my list is kind of a cheat. It's not really a specific manga, it's just a genre as a whole, and that's the survival battle genre. You know those manga where you have a whole bunch of characters and they're all thrown together on an island or something, and there's this game that has all these rules and only one person can survive, and it's this big epic showdown. Now, why would I call this a guilty pleasure? A lot of these series are really good. I love Battle Royale. It's kind of what started it all. I love Batum, despite it being basically a ripoff. I love The Drifting Classroom. I love Suicide Island. But they're not original. They're like the same thing over and over again. You can tell right away what the ending's gonna be too. Somebody's gonna survive. A lot of people are gonna die. These people are gonna turn against each other and start killing each other. Oh, I wonder who's gonna die next. It's just not surprising, not shocking. Each series follows the exact same formula, but I love them all. I don't know why. I couldn't really tell you why I love them all, but I do. If a manga is a survival manga, I will buy it and I will read it and I will love it. So that was number 5, kind of a cheat, but whatever. Number 4, I would say is not really a guilty pleasure either. I'm kind of cheating on 5 and 4 here because I couldn't really think of a 5 and 4. I mostly want to talk about the top 3, which I think are very interesting. But number 4 is a series called Onani Master Kurosawa. I don't know if you've heard of it. You probably have, maybe. It's not available in English. You have to read it online. I just read it like a month ago and I really liked it. I don't see many people criticizing it. It's got like a 9 point something, I think, on my anime list, so it's really highly rated. And there aren't many flaws to it, but Onani in Japanese means masturbation. It's masturbation, Master Kurosawa. And from there, I think you know where this is going. It's a story about this. Oh god, this is so awkward to talk about. It's a story about this 14-year-old kid, and he goes into the girls' bathroom at his school every day after class lets out, and he masturbates to these girls that are in his class. And that sounds really bad. It sounds like I'm setting it up to be some horrible hentai, creepy, sexual manga, but it's really not. It's a story about valuing people as human beings rather than as objects, which is kind of implied here. It's a story about learning oneself and growing as a person. It's actually pretty sad at points. I got a little emotional toward the end. I won't spoil why, but a big change happens in the main character. He goes from being this chronic, masturbating, antisocial scumbag, basically, to a person who actually can care for others. And it's a really deep story, and it has great reviews on my anime list. That's why I checked it out. So if you read manga online and you're not put off by the masturbation prospect, I would check it out. It's on this list because I feel a little bit of shame for reading something about masturbation, but not really. Nothing really makes me feel shame, so... Okay, anyway. At number 3, I have a manga that probably a lot of you have heard of, probably a lot of you have read and also liked, but it does get a lot of criticism, and it gets a lot of backlash for being kind of stupid, which it kind of is, it's kind of stupid. It's called Cage of Eden. Again, it's one of those survival manga, like I was talking about earlier, where people are stuck on this island, they can't leave, They can't find their way off. They eventually turn against each other. Except there's a twist to this one. There are prehistoric creatures on this island. There are like dinosaur-like creatures, saber-toothed tiger creatures, like anything that's extinct that you can think of, even if it didn't actually exist in our universe, is there. And that's really dumb. That sounds really stupid. But I promise you, it's really entertaining, and I don't know why it's entertaining, but it is. It's also really ecchi. So there's lots of... oh god. There's lots of like boobs everywhere and panty shots and all these girls going, "Oh, it's a dinosaur, save me!" Like, what? Like, why? Just why? Why? Who in their right mind would come up with this idea to send these kids to this island with prehistoric creatures on it? Like, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I love it. I haven't actually finished this manga, so I couldn't tell you if it has a good ending or if it's satisfying or whatever. I've been reading it online, I don't even own it, but check it out if you're into survival stuff like I am. It's a lot of fun, it's really weird, it's kind of stupid, but it's a fun series. I like it. Okay, next up at number 2. So I actually own this one, every volume in Japanese, because I like it that much. And it's really embarrassing to say that because this series really isn't that good. And I'll get briefly into why it's not that good, but it's Future Diary. Now, Future Diary, I first watched the anime for this, oh, I don't know, maybe like 6 years ago. I was still younger at the time, and I really loved it. I didn't really notice any of its flaws back then. I thought it was awesome. You've got this main character, his name is Yuki Teru. Yuki. And he's kind of this wimpy kid who, he's really wimpy, he's really mopey, he's like your standard shonen protagonist who sucks. Where are you going, dude? And basically he is in cahoots with... oh, hi. He's in cahoots with this god of like time named Deus, I think. I don't know why I'm looking at the manga. It's not like I can read it or anything. But he gets thrown into this survival game, again, survival game, with 12 other people. It's either 11 or 12 other people, and they all have diaries that predict the future. And they're all on cell phones for some reason, because, you know, everybody keeps a diary on their cell phone, right? So from episode 1, Yuki Teru starts noticing that his diary on his phone is giving him messages from the future that end up coming true. And that's a pretty cool premise. Like, you have this future diary that's telling you what's going to happen, and you can prevent those things from happening by, like, not doing them. But basically, he is part of a very dangerous game where the other diary holders try to take out each other using the diaries, and the last one standing at the end gets to become the new god of death or time or something. But what makes this manga so much fun is, 1, that concept is cool, 2, the characters are crazy, and 3, it's just over the top and ridiculous. There's so much violence. Our other protagonist, Yuno, is a complete yandere, crazy, psychotic ex-girlfriend type of character. She's in love with Yuki Teru, the main character, and she's obsessed with him, and she is completely psychotic. Like, imagine your craziest ex-girlfriend and multiply that by 20. That's how insane she is. And she's done a lot of really messed up stuff that you find out that's told to you via plot twists later on in the manga. I'm not going to get into spoiling it because I know that not everybody has seen the anime or read the manga. I wouldn't even recommend you to see the anime or read the manga. It's full of plot holes, but I still love it. I mean, why are their diaries on their phone? Why did the god of time or death or whatever choose all of these psychopaths to compete for his position? Like, we have terrorists in this group of people. We have murderers. We have like a 3-year-old boy who is who is a complete psychopath. A 3-year-old boy in this manga tries to kill the main characters. a conniving little 3 or 4-year-old boy. It just doesn't make any sense. And the ending, let's not even get into that. It makes even less sense. In fact, it makes 0 sense at all. And the plot twist you can see coming from a mile away, the final big plot twist. But I don't know why, I just really love this series. It's just endearing, you know? But there is one series that is even crazier. It's probably the most what the f*** series I've ever read in my life. But I'm talking about the manga here. The anime is meh. It's really boring. It's really long. It's like overly drawn out. And the ending is just not as good in the anime. Check out the manga for sure. And what the frick? Anyway, the manga I'm talking about is School Days. Yeah, School Days. Fun fact about me, if you were curious, I have only ever rated 3 manga a 10 out of 10 on my anime list. Those are Goodnight Pun Pun and Nijigahara Holograph by Ennio Asano, which I think are masterpieces, and School Days, which is a masterpiece in its own right. It's gold. Comedy gold, I think. Basically, it's a really standard, stereotypical manga about teenagers who go through all this drama with dating and love and romance, and there's like a love triangle, and the main character has to choose between these 2 girls. You know, you've seen that a million times in anime and manga by now. And that's nothing special. The anime drags it out forever, and it introduces all these weird raunchy sex scenes, which is why I don't like the anime as much. The manga is much more innocent. Not innocent, but tame. It's pretty tame. Which makes the ending all the more shocking. Oh my god. Okay, so imagine if you're in a class, right? And you write this big long essay, but you already know that you're going to fail because the essay kind of sucks, but you don't really have time to finish it. You're just kind of sick of dealing with it. You already know you're gonna get an F. So the very last sentence, you're just like, F this class, I hate this professor, she's freaking fat. And then you send it off to the world to be judged. That's what this manga is. So it's a pretty standard story. Until I think the last 2 pages, I believe it's only 2 or 3 pages toward the end, the author just goes completely apeshit. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if he was like, man, this manga really sucks. I had planned for this manga to go on for 20 volumes and I just can't do it anymore. Maybe that was his mindset. I'm not really sure. But pretty normal up until the last 3 or so pages, and then all of a sudden the main, I'm just gonna spoil it, the main female, or one of the main female characters, does this.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping.
Yeah, I mean, no context needed, really. There was no build up to that. No hints whatsoever that this character was completely psychotic. We had literally no hints whatsoever that this was about to happen, and it just happens. It's beautiful. It is golden. Oh my god, why? Just why? I have a pretty dry sense of humor, a pretty dark sense of humor, and most manga don't really appeal to my specific sense of humor. I'm not saying I'm like enlightened or anything like that, it's just most Japanese humor doesn't really appeal to me. But this is my kind of humor. Just some frustrated author completely having a mental breakdown and trolling his entire audience. Why? Just why? It's like if George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones, hey, repping Game of Thrones, if he just wrote that entire series of Game of Thrones and then on the last 2 pages, like Jon Snow just goes completely insane and starts killing everybody, and then he just goes up into the camera and starts screaming and shaking his fists and starts pounding on his chest like a lunatic. Like, that's what the ending to this manga was. I really can't stress enough how crazy this is and how awesome it is. So, even though it's a guilty pleasure and I wouldn't really recommend anyone to read it, you should, if you have the spare time, you should check it out because it's pretty funny. But that's it, guys. That's really all I had to say. I just wanted to do this quick, fun video to share with you guys some of my favorite stupid manga. So if any of these sounded interesting to you, definitely check them out. If not, I totally understand. You should definitely pass on all of them. They're pretty atrocious. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Say bye, Yuki. Come say bye. Ah. Can you say bye? See you in the next video.
You stupid weeaboo, I want nothing to do with this. Kill yourself. Do not touch me, you ignorant twat. Your videos are piles of shit.
Okay, bye.